Where am I giving my power away? Where am I a victim of anything or anyone? And where can I reclaim my power and pull that, reclaim it back from the ways in which I've given it away? Welcome to Energetics with Kim and Veronica, where we invite you to nourish the energy of your inner why, your inner healing, magic, prosperity, your curiosity, clarity, playfulness. Welcome home. Today we are talking about villains, we're talking about victims, and we're talking about freedom. I'm Veronica, and this is my partner, Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hello.
All right. What do you got for us, Kim?
I'm going to start off with a quote from one of Veronica and my mentors, Melanie Ann Layer. And it just landed really well for me. So she says, there will be the victims, the villains, and the free. And when there is enough free people, that dualistic paradigm will die. That dualistic paradigm will die. I love that. And then she continues to share, the goal is not to rescue the victims. The goal is not to stop the villains. The goal is to empower the free. I love that.
So profound.
Now, it is. And there's so many different pieces and bits to it, right? And so this victims and villains and free thing, my God. So last time we chatted, we talked about, for me, it was being in alignment with the mission. Well, this is a big part of it. I mean, this is a big part of it, to empower people to know what's actually true for them so that they can step into their pure potential, ending the dualistic paradigm of good, bad, right, and wrong, victims and villains. To me, that is the mission. That's the mission. So often on my Facebook page, I'll say, remember the mission. I don't name it. This is what it is for me. Stepping into our pure potential is where we become free, where humanity becomes free. And that's what I know I'm here to be for myself, as well as, be part of that with the world. And so the victims and villain thing, for me, I've been really, really, really playing with that and noticing, where am I playing the victim role? I can't believe he said that. I can't believe she did that. I can't believe that, whatever, right? So sometimes if I'm making myself a victim of that awareness, that is not going to contribute to me and the mission of being free. So, and it's okay that, somebody cut me off, that pisses me off. But if I make myself a victim of that experience and a victim of, and make them a villain, they're wrong, they did this, he said that, that's the villain. And so there's no free. In between those is free, or beyond that is free. And so when I can be like, yep, he did that, pisses me off, and I have my feels about it, that's okay. I'm no longer playing the victim of, or making him the villain of. And so for me, it's just really noticing, what is my response, right? Because if I'm feeling victimized by what's going on in the world, by my bank account, by the government, by whatever is going on in this moment, then I'm also making something a villain. Sounds like a Walt Disney movie, doesn't it? Truly. And so when I can be aware of all this stuff, aware of it without making me a victim, without making them a villain, and vice versa, without seeing this person as a victim and me as a villain, it's different than forgiveness for me, and similar. It's more like, okay, now what? That happened. I said that shit. Okay, now what? Well, you know what? I might call them up and say, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll take full responsibility, and also for how I feel. So what is your thing with victim and villain?
In order for us to really experience our pure potentiality and to experience the greatness that life has available to us, it requires our ability to step into our power. And so our power is tapping into the
Yes.
greatness of ourselves. And it's doesn't mean power in terms of dominance over people, dominance over things, but a power in terms of I am in control. I am in complete control over what I am navigating in life, what I'm creating in life, and how I am responding to life. And I am in that beautiful dance with life where I can receive what's coming to me with full openness. I can direct my energy into what I truly want to create and experience, and I can refine what I'm experiencing that maybe isn't what I consider to be optimal. So it's stepping into my power. And in order for me to be able to step into my power, it requires freedom. Because if I'm giving my power away to a circumstance, to a person, to an event, I'm no longer having my power. And therefore, I'm not living my pure potentiality. I'm not living my greatness. I don't have dominion over what it is I would like to experience in life with respect to health, with respect to wealth, with respect to, you know, the work that I'm doing, with respect to my relationships. And so in order for me to step into my power and to it requires freedom. And so that in order to arrive at that freedom, I really have to look at where am I giving my power away? Where am I a victim of anything or anyone? And where can I reclaim my power and pull that, reclaim it back from the ways in which I've given it away? And where do I have villains in my life? Again, where I'm giving my power away. And so this is a really deep exploration that,
It
we
is.
hear a lot about, are a victim of your circumstance and blah, blah, blah. And it just becomes like this very empty phrase that we say. But when you really go into the depths of it, it's where your true power lies. And we're all about looking at where can we step in and leverage our abilities to co-create with life in a way that is meaningful, where we can experience the greatness of life. And it really starts from this reclaiming of our power. And it's not easy, and it takes a lot of time and effort and willingness to examine where we're giving our power away. And there's a lot of ways we're doing that, but we don't even realize. So
Yeah.
it requires a lot of self-reflection and contemplation. But when we can get there, that's where we arrive at our freedom. Because we're no longer boxing ourselves in with these stories. And when I look at, through my self exploration lately, things that and there's more than what I can share here, because there's still things I know that I'm not aware of, but
Hmm.
I have really been looking at, in terms of villain, like time is a villain for me. And I've really been wanting to reclaim my understanding, my relationship with time. So I've been playing a lot in the energy of time and seeing time as a persona of, this beautiful grandfather, right? They always say the father of time, the grandfather of time, and how it actually is a blessing and a gift, and he's not a villain. But I see it in terms of time, like I don't have enough time, but also I'm now 50 and now I lost all this time, and why didn't I accomplish what I was meant to accomplish? So that's one villain that's been in my life that I'm
Yeah.
really, choosing to have a new relationship with. But it's these subtle things like that. It's, of course, there's folks that have dealt with or are still living with a lot of trauma from really big things that have happened, where it's a little bit clearer to see where the villains are and where I'm a victim. And those are big things to navigate that may require some support. But there's also these really subtle things like that, where it's, I've had challenges with infertility. So my fertility is a villain. And it's those subtle things. Where am I giving my power away? And when I do that, I'm no longer free. And I'm now not powerful to really live that greatness that I have the pure potential of being.
I love that. You know what? A lot of it is attachment. when we get attached to what somebody said or what we said, and all of that, and yeah, there's this, because when I make somebody a victim, or I make myself a victim, like you said, I'm giving my power over. And oh my God, that is like a leaky energy. That means we're also, my energy is leaking to that person, place, or thing, right? Or the wrongness, whether the victim or the villain, either one, right? And so I do this quick little thing. Sometimes I do it at night on my way to sleep. Sometimes I do it in the morning. Well, I definitely do it in the morning. So do you want me to share it? It's like just some words. Cool. Okay. So what I do is, so when I wake up in the morning, I do this little thing, and it's as simple as welcoming home all the bits and pieces of me that are scattered throughout dimensions, time, space, past lives, all the things I don't even know about. So I'm welcoming home all the bits and pieces that are scattered, all the bits and pieces and the power that I've given others, all the bits and pieces and the power that I've allowed others to take from me, all the bits and pieces that others are holding on to of me, that are mine, that they might not even know they're holding on to it. I welcome those home, cleanse through the golden diamond light vibration, the highest frequency of God, whatever you want to call it, and I welcome them home. And then I do the same thing by saying, in any bits and pieces or power that I'm holding on to, that others gave me or that I've taken, in this lifetime, any lifetime, all time, space, dimensions, and all the places and spaces we don't even know about, I return that to its rightful owner, return to sender, cleanse through the golden diamond light vibration, the God frequency, whatever you want to call that. And so it is, and it is done. So I'm welcoming all those bits and pieces of me home that I've scattered, maybe, at the mall or wherever, right? So welcoming those bits and pieces of me home and back. And then I say, thank you, welcome home. And then any bits and pieces that I'm holding on to that maybe somebody gave me or that I took in this lifetime or another lifetime, didn't even know I was holding on to it, but it's not mine. Boom, gone. Yeah. And so it's just kind of a little thing that I like to do. And so, yeah, victim villain is part of that as well, right? If I'm seeing someone as a villain, well, then I'm giving them my power. And so I'm calling all of that home. And I do it every day, every morning when I wake up. And you don't have to have my words. You can have your own words, right? Calling home all of me. Boom, done. Anything that isn't mine, boom, return to sender, done. Simple, right? Find your own words. But yeah, that's, I like to do that. It feels, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's beautiful. Thank you for
It's
sharing.
a thing for me.
I think
You're
too, like we talk
welcome.
a lot about narratives, right? So looking at the stories that we tell and what are the pattern stories that we tell that where we're giving away our power to something or someone. I think a big one that I think sometimes it's the big stories that have happened to us that are a little bit easier to see. Like we know this is a victim villain kind of situation, but it's hard to navigate. Sometimes we require, like I said, support from someone who specializes in facilitating that to help us move through that. But there's a lot of subtle ones like time, like that I shared, but also technology, right? Like how many people feel like, you're a victim to technology because you don't understand it, and who can fully understand it anyways, right? And so, I see it a lot at work where folks are like, my computer's not working and I don't know how this, this and that. I don't understand this. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, where do we give our power away to technology too? Or, there's just these really subtle ones that happen. And when it becomes a pattern, and, that's where it's really helpful to look at our narratives. What stories are we telling ourselves about how we're limited
Yep.
in some way and we're a victim to those subtle things?
I love that you brought it back to that, because that's where I get to ask myself the question, am I in alignment with the mission? Well, if the mission's to be free and pure potential, that story over there, it might feel actually true for me, and I can have my feels about it. But if I continue in the story of it, is that in alignment with the mission? Right. And so sometime, and I've been actually, as I said in the last call that we did, I've been using it as a question, and I also been using it as a tool. Right. It's like, okay, alignment with the mission. Okay. Align with the mission. Okay. And then it can bring me back and out of the story, which I've just been giving my energy to, therefore giving my power to. Anything that we give our energy to, we're also empowering. And so if I'm, so for me, the alignment with the mission thing has been so powerful for now. Right? It's a tool. I've been using it. Is this an alignment? So, if I'm working on my relationship with whoever, and all of a sudden I see them as a villain, is that in alignment with the mission of what I'm looking to create in the relationship? Because if I see them as a villain, then I'm probably seeing myself as a victim. And there's a good chance I might respond in that context. Not on purpose, but if that's what I'm seeing. So it's about, being self-aware of am I playing victim or villain here? What about free? Right. And so it doesn't mean that it's okay to let people misuse you or abuse you. Yeah, sometimes people are mean. They are. Right. And so that's when, instead of me making myself a victim of the villain, that person's mean, I can choose to be a victim of their meanness, or I can have the awareness of that person's mean. Boom. Right. And literally make a choice based on that. Do I need them in my life? Do I want them in my life? Is that in alignment with the mission to have that person in my life? And so that's how I've been kind of playing with it is yeah, that person's mean. Is that in alignment with the mission for me to hang out with somebody that's mean? Yeah, no. Okay, then I have a choice. And so yeah, it's constantly, like you said in the beginning, constantly checking in. And I find that the more and more we do check in with what's actually true for me here. Is that in alignment with my mission? No, yes, no. Oh, I'm actually getting a no. Okay, cool. That's what's actually true for me in this moment. And as we get to do that, I find that for me personally, it does become more and more easy. And it doesn't take as long. In the beginning, yeah, it's learning to, learning to go from crawling maybe to walking. It doesn't mean it didn't work. It just means you're experimenting. Just try it on. Just try it on. Be the experiment. We came to Earth. This is a big experiment, right? Nobody gave us a rule book. We got to figure it out for ourselves, or feel our way through it, or whatever you want to call that. Right. And so, just trying it on, experiment, and that will get you into your becoming quicker. And yeah, is it in the beginning? It can be really difficult, but it's like anything. The more that you practice it, boom, the more it becomes more ease and more aware. And yeah.
And I'm curious, like when you refer to the word mission or the concept of mission, it's sounding to me like for you, it's almost like what you desire to create in the different areas of your life. Like you talk about a mission for your relationship, a mission for your work, maybe a mission for your body. Is that how it kind of translates for you?
Kind of. It's kind of like the intention. So that would more be on the intention side, maybe. So the intention for me is to be in alignment with the mission. What's the mission to me is the bigger picture of the entire why I'm here on the planet. What a lot of us are here as, light workers, consciousness bringers, creating more awareness, more consciousness within myself and on the planet, and more free. And so for me, when I say the mission, it's about, there's so much conversation out there about, we're moving from 3D to 5D and beyond. Why would we stop at 5? So for me, that is part of the mission, for people to actually recognize that they are all that they are creating the reality, that they are God on legs or goddess on legs or a combo of both, because I don't like the duality that some people play with between God and goddess. It's like, boom, that energy, the source, whatever you want to call it. And so for me, when I say the mission, it's about me becoming my pure potential, to put it in your words of pure potential, which I love. So me becoming pure potential, and sharing the bits and pieces with the world if I think it'll contribute to somebody else going, okay, I can see where I was functioning over here down the rabbit hole. Maybe, that duality place of, third dimensional consciousness of good, bad, right, and wrong, positive, negative. Is that, am I in alignment with the mission? If the mission is to move into 5D and beyond. So it's, and pure potential, whatever my pure potential is, whatever your pure potential is. So it's constantly checking it. Is this in alignment with that? Maybe, is this in alignment with who I'm choosing to become? Is this in alignment with what we know is possibility of humanity and the world and consciousness itself? Is this part of 3D or 5D and beyond? So it's all that for me. And the mission kind of wraps it up in a language that is all of that and even beyond that. So that's why I use, and those words, the mission, actually did come from, again, our mentor, Melanie Ann Layer. I think it was in the last experiment that she did. And when she said it, I went, ooh, that aligns with me.
Yeah.
And yeah. And do I know what it's going to look like? Oh my God, of course not. Of course I don't, but I can check in.
Stay
Is
tuned.
this in alignment? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this in alignment with who I'm choosing to be, who I know my pure potentiality might be? Or am I back over there in that outdated 3D place that barely even exists anymore? So people are kind of being tossed around right now, I find, quite a bit, because, 3D doesn't quite exist anymore, but neither does the 5. So there's that 4, which is, can be quite the 1 foot in this and 1 foot in that, and now what kind
whole
of thing,
other
right?
episode.
Whole other episode, exactly.
Well, amazing. Well, thank you for the
yeah.
conversation. And I think, really looking at where you're giving your power away, where can you claim your freedom? Where can you claim your power, and where are there victims and villains in your story? And how can you identify them first and claim your power back from them? Thank you so much, Kim. It's such a great conversation.
And noticing where you're free. Yeah, choosing to be free.
Exactly.
Without ignoring all the stuff.
So much love. Until the next time. Bye.
Much love.